Good morning and a warm welcome, and thank you for keeping it right here on Sunrise at Sea. You're just in time for our views, and it's a Friday. Joining me are the ladies dressed and donned in their best fabulous culture outfits. Of course, not forgetting special thanks to Jocelyn Alinda, who actually has a shop at the National Theatre. That is the Crafts Village, shop number 20, for being able to dress us up today. Well, the conversation on girl code continues. Now, for those who do not know, or as we go back and backtrack, it's very important that we define what girl code is, and then after that we shall kick off from where we left off last week on Friday. Of course, due to public demand, that is why we are having this conversation again. Now, what is a girl code? Girl code is a set of unwritten and often unspoken set of rules, stroke ethics that exist between a girl and her friends. Simply stated, girl code are commandments that outline the do's and don'ts of a good relationship. Now, whether the rules are implicit or even explicit, they are generally what can make or break a relationship. So today, my first question is going to be, is it time to do away with girl code, and why? And I want to hear from you, Sarah.
Why should we do away? Listen, there's some things within the girl code that need to be revised.
Such as?
And I'm coming to that. Okay. There's some things within the girl code that should be revised. Just as there are many things that we need to, put into consideration or go back and look again when it comes to how we conduct our relationships, or rather our friendships with our friends. I don't think it should be, why are you scraping it away? Because then why are you scraping it away? Because if you scrape it away, then that means you're eradicating the boundaries that we set for ourselves and our friends. Okay. Some things such as don't lie to me, be honest, honesty, integrity, just want, wish well for me, things like that. All those things should be kept. But then again, there's some unnecessary things that I think that should just be revised. For instance, when people say, oh, you cannot date my ex, or you cannot like a guy I like. This is someone you just like. You're not even with this person. And even just goes to say that perhaps this person that you like doesn't like you back. So I think there are things like that we should just revise and just come to a mutual understanding, or have honest conversations about it. Because you can't say that you love your friend and then you're going to put restrictions on your friend, yet you don't want the thing. It's like, I don't want this cup, but I'm not using it, so don't touch it.
I might use it.
And not that I may not use it. Like, I don't want it. I don't need it. But don't touch it. Don't even look at it. You get, what is that?
So it doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense. You cannot put restrictions onto people. You cannot hold people at ransom. You don't own anyone. You don't even own your kids. So why would you tell someone that I like him, so none of you should like him, okay? It's not how it works.
Okay, but that is just one aspect that you've looked at. Agi, do you think we need to do a girl code? Is it becoming extremely exaggerated?
No, girl code shouldn't be done away with. For one thing, and I'll just, put it this way. Just like in a country, there are laws that govern a country.
Yes.
Just like in a family, you have, your rules. Even when you go back to school, wherever it is in our society, we do have laws, rules, regulations that govern us. And in one way or another, they help us to coexist, to live harmoniously, and to do the right thing. So girl code is very important, because some of these things talk about not leaving your friends, out in the bar, talk about there's so many things about girl code, but at the end of the day, I feel like it is needed. It is needed, just like, Sarah said, she talked about boundaries, and I'll re-echo it, just to set boundaries. I mean, there are things you cannot do, even in your friendships, even relationships, you always do set boundaries. I mean, that is the only way that is the only way the friendship can go right. I mean, sometimes it does go bad, but imagine in a situation where you just go in it, just going with the flow. It will always have so many ups and downs. People will not know how to, what you like, what you don't like. So really, girl code is very important for me. I feel it's important from friendships, and just to live harmoniously. There is no way you should do away with girl code. Maybe maybe some things about girl code should be revised. I may not mention my particular ones, but yes,
that is why we're actually having a continuation of this conversation, because today we are going to break code by code, and today we're going to look at 5 different codes that some people feel that they should be removed while others say that they should actually remain. Now today we are breaking down the girl code. Now the first one is keep it real at all times, and they shall be playing on your screen even as we talk about them and agree whether they should move or whether they should actually be revised. So the first one is keep it real at all times. Now, real friends are like solar eclipses, rare. Not everyone deserves your realness, but for the sake of not being a phony, try to be yourself at all times and you will attract the right people. Do you think this is a code that should remain, and is it possible when it comes to the female part of it?
I think this is relative.
Yes.
Because you could be real, your real self, but your real self is offending me. Do you understand? Or offending me, offending my culture, offending my values. So it's, even when your realness, it's important to be appropriate. Know how to communicate. I could tell someone, you don't look nice in a crop top. Like you could say, there are different ways that you could phrase that. Like, perhaps you could get another top that is a lot more flattering.
Okay.
Or a top that is going to accentuate your bust a lot better. Do you understand? Like, there are better ways. Instead of you saying that you have a big stomach, why are you wearing crop tops? They're not for you. They're not for everyone. You're still relaying the same information, but how you do it is very different. Also, being real could be you just have to clearly state your boundaries, not by being rude or imposing yourself on another person, but just saying that this is what I like, this is what I don't like. I am for realness, but when you are expressing your realness, please know how to communicate it, okay?
Absolutely.
Don't just go
Don't just run.
shooting bullets.
Pa, 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 pa.
Hey.
So our next code, and Aki, as you respond, our next code is don't date their exes. Now this one says, this is the most important rule of all. This is according to research, please. These are not my words. Don't dare look at your bestie's ex. He's completely off limits.
Why?
If your bestie or friend asks you for permission to date your ex, dump her ASAP, as soon as possible. Okay, should this rule stay? Should it go?
I maintain my stand. This rule needs to stay by
Why?
all means. As a friend, and you know, I talked about it the other day,
Yes.
and I still share the same sentiments, even with everyone who thinks that you shouldn't date your friend's ex. For those particular reasons, I mean, in the interest of time, I don't want to lay them on the table. At the end of the day, your friend's ex, I mean, that is like, do you understand? Like, it's an ex. But when we talk about maybe a crush, because we talked about crushes, if your friend has a crush on somebody, I mean, that is not their person, that is not their boyfriend, they have no relations, and maybe they may not like them at the end of the day. So that one is okay. But exes, out of bounds, please.
But do
That
you
isn't
agree
for me.
with the fact that we're supposed to keep it real at all times?
Yes, we
So
have
now,
to know
if you have dated a man and I am interested in him and I come and tell you as my friend, because we are keeping girl code, not so?
Yes.
We're supposed to keep it
Be
real
real.
at all times, that's so?
I'm
So I
asking
come and
for
tell
permission.
you, Aggie, your ex, I am interested in him. Yes, I know there is bad blood, but this is someone I think I can build a future
The
with
thing
him.
about me is-
Remember, we
Yes.
are keeping it real.
Yes.
But when I come out and tell you, how mature will you be to accept me to go ahead, or will you cut out our friendship? Now that is where the keeping it real comes
accepting
from.
doesn't mean that you are mature. Having the conversation means you're mature, because there is someone who you'll tell, I'm interested in your ex, and they'll rubbish you off immediately without having to hear what you have to say. The conversation is where the
But would
maturity
you be
comes in.
comfortable?
I will tell you, hey, you know, part of girl code is we do not date each other's
What do you
exes.
mean
But
girl
no, here's the
code?
thing. Here's the thing. So
part of-
if you really want to take that road, please go on.
Can
But
I
you
ask
and I, our
can I ask
friendship
you a
is
question?
done. I
Why-
cannot
can I
stay
ask
with
you a
that kind
question?
of friend.
Why is it important to you so much that you don't want your friend to date your ex? This is your ex. You're not with this person. You are not with this person. This is your ex. You're no longer with this person. So who are you to dictate who
Here's the
your
thing.
ex can see or not? Is it
Sarah,
your ego?
first of
It-
all-
no.
first
let
of
me
all, I'm not
finish.
dictating.
Is it you are? Is it your ego? Are you insecure? Are you
No.
selfish? What kind of friend are you?
Okay,
Ask
now
yourself
let me
that
answer
question.
you.
Just a minute.
What the hell is
Or-
that?
Yes, you're going to answer. Or is it the aspect that this is someone that you have cut out of your life that you do not want to relate with anymore, even meeting at different places? Like you just do not want
There
to cross
is
paths
that
with
too,
him.
and here's the thing, I'm saying I'm not dictating. You might
You
as well
are.
go ahead and date my ex, but for us, our friendship is gone. That is the truth of the matter.
Because
Here's
you're
the thing,
insecure,
no,
you're
no,
egotistic, you are
well,
selfish,
I
and you're
don't
just
know
a
about
terrible
you. I
friend.
don't know about you and how you handle your friendships with me and my friends. This is a code that we respect at the end of the day, and I respect that everyone can take it the other way. You have a different opinion
Lord.
from me, and I respect that. For me, it doesn't
Let
work.
us
And here is the
be
thing:
real about
you
the
are
situation
at
to
liberty to go on
ourselves.
and date that man, but you and I as friends because we go out together, because we are always in the same spaces together. This is probably someone, like you said, that maybe I don't want to see. So I mean, what are we going to do? I mean, choose. Go either the other
He's
side
not
or
seeing
stay.
Just a
you.
minute. So psychologists say, and this is something, a report that I
Choose.
actually came across, and psychologists say that if you did decide to go ahead and date your best friend's ex, this is something that, and she's called Michelle Wantoni, and she said there are plenty of fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Why go looking for someone who has proved to be a king of all fake people and go ahead to date someone that has
Yeah.
made your friend feel bad?
Can
Anyway,
I say this?
Yes.
Can I please say this quickly? Just because that man did not work out with you does not mean he's not going to work out with the next woman. That is where we go wrong. We think that we are the holy grail. We are the one. We are the perfect one. No. The reason that you broke up could have been because your friend is just an awful person.
Okay.
She's a gaslighter. She's toxic. She's emotionally abusive. Your friend could have been the problem. This is the thing. Another thing is that you cannot dictate who people fall in love with or want to be with. That is not on you. That is not on you. And the reason why women say, oh, you cannot date my ex is because of your ego, your insecurity, and you're not a good friend. Point period blank. Men
Okay,
never hold
okay,
against their friends.
ladies,
Just
as
one
we
word, one
continue,
like
as
this.
we
That is-
continue,
yes, I have
as
said
we
it all.
continue
No,
to have
no,
this
go to
conversation,
therapy.
ladies.
No.
I have
No.
said it
Ladies,
now.
Again,
No.
Sarah,
No.
as we continue to have this
Choose,
conversation,
pick a side. Pick
it's
a
very
side.
important.
Either friendship or the side of the man. And
As we
that's
continue
about
to have
girl
this
code.
conversation, it's very important that we understand to what extent should girl code be removed. And these are actually the reasons that I came across why girl code should be removed. The first one is girl code narratives leaves little space for friends to have open, honest, empathetic conversations about love. Because
Yes.
then you're torn between choosing my best friend who is a girl or should I go and hang out with a man? Because you're torn between, okay, if I tell her that I'm interested in her ex, now I have to walk around eggshells. If I tell her certain things a certain type of way, she'll probably going to be offended. So what is the importance? What is girl code doing? Is it doing more harm than good?
It
Or
is.
is it making our relationships with our fellow girls feel like we are in a prison and walking around eggshells? Again, that is food for thought. Our next one is, in the case of female friendships, girl code also seems to rest on the idea that women are in constant competition with each other and therefore need to give away instead of talking things out like adults that they are. And that is
Amen.
no, I'm not just to be clear, I'm not siding with what Sarah has said. I'm just giving something that I came across, and this is in relation to the fact that I think, in my perspective, and as we wrap up the conversation, that girl code should be a healthy way to relate with a fellow girl. It shouldn't be a competitive thing. It shouldn't be
Absolutely
a
not.
reason as to why you're walking around eggshells. But also, if we're talking about keeping it real at 100%, if you decide to go against girl code, be sure that you're actually going to walk up to your friend, but also be prepared for the repercussions. If your friend says, okay, I love the fact that you've been honest about this and you have come and told me that you're interested in my ex. Even while I've allowed you to date him, I need you to know that I am not comfortable. Now that is having mature conversations.
And that's what I
But
talked
again,
about earlier.
And the
chances
accountability is
on
you
a
and
scale
you.
of 1 to 10, the chances are like 2 that your soulmate is your best
Absolutely
friend's
not.
ex.
That is not
Anyway,
true.
that wraps up the conversation that we had for you this morning on Our Views. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea.
Oh my. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise at Sea this morning. It's been a very good and eventful day. We had so much on the lineup for you. We hope that you were tuned in and, got to enjoy the show as well. As you can see, the ladies and I, looking amazing in our African outfits, exuding culture, exuding, our Africanacity. Is that the word? Yes. And we were dressed by Jocelyn Alinda, who has a shop at National Theatre, and that is shop number 20. Thanks so much again for joining us and for always being part of Sunrise at Sea, as well as of CTV. Well, from the ladies and I and the team, we wish you a fantastic weekend. Remember, tomorrow is World Cultural Diversity Day. Do whatever you have to do, to exude culture, to exude anything that reflects culture in your day-to-day lives. Yes, and that wraps up what we had for you here on Sunrise at Sea. Stay tuned to CTV.